We begin tonight with a meditation on endurance and immense, silent power. Our subject is the Kremlin walls of Moscow, a colossal, silent presence that does not just enclose a city, but guards the very soul of Russian history. These walls are not mere barriers, they are a massive, slow, breathing entity of red brick and granite, stretching over 2 kilometers, rising up to 21 meters in height, and averaging 6 meters in thickness. They represent a state of perpetual vigilance, a silent, unmoving guardian that has witnessed the birth and death of tsars, empires, and ideologies. Imagine standing close to the rough, textured surface of the ancient brick. Feel the cold, unyielding silence radiating from the stone. The voice of the red brick is not loud. It is a deep, resonant hum, an echo of centuries of sealed secrets, whispered conspiracies, and hidden ambitions. The Kremlin walls were last extensively rebuilt in the late 15th century by Italian masters, who imbued the structure with an architectural language that speaks of both strength and profound mystery. The distinctive swallowtail crenellations that crown the walls are not merely decorative, they are symbols of Western military ingenuity, designed to deflect cannon fire and hide the movements of the archers who patrol the high ramparts. But the true mystery of the walls is not what they contain, but what they conceal. Their immense thickness is not uniform. Within those 6-meter-wide foundations lie secret narrow passageways, concealed staircases, and hidden chambers, a labyrinthine circulatory system designed to allow silent, unseen movement between the 20 towering fortresses that punctuate the line of red brick. This structure is a testament to permanence. It is a historical anchor that seems to defy the very concept of decay. It stands as a physical manifestation of Russian autocratic power, a silent promise that the center of the nation will forever remain protected, untouchable, and forever mysterious. We seek the deepest secrets contained within this red fortress, secrets that begin with a legend of lost knowledge, a library of immense power, sealed away by the most terrifying and enigmatic Tsar of all, Ivan the Terrible. The deepest mystery sealed within the Kremlin's foundations is the legend of the Liberia, the fabled missing library of Tsar Ivan IV Vasilievich, known to history as Ivan the Terrible, R. 1547 to 1584. This is a mystery that transcends simple book collecting. It is a legend of lost knowledge that could have reshaped the course of world history. The story begins long before Ivan. The core of the collection is said to have originated with the Byzantine emperors in Constantinople. When the city fell to the Ottomans in 1453, the Imperial Byzantine Library, a treasure trove of ancient Greek, Latin, and Hebrew texts, some dating back to Alexandria, was supposedly saved. The texts were allegedly transported to Moscow through the Tsar's grandmother, Sophia Paleolog, the niece of the last Byzantine emperor, who married Ivan the Great,
Ivan the Terrible's grandfather, in 1472. This massive collection of wisdom, containing works of lost classics, ancient science, and forbidden theological texts, became the private possession of the Moscow Tsars. Ivan the Terrible became personally obsessed with the Liberia. He was a man of immense, contradictory intellect, a ruthless tyrant who was also a scholar and theologian. He recognized the world-altering power contained within these ancient pages. He spent years reading, translating, and guarding these books with extreme paranoia. The lore suggests that as Ivan's mental state deteriorated, his fear of losing this knowledge, either to fire, invasion, or his enemies, grew absolute. He resolved to protect it by making it utterly inaccessible. The Liberia was not merely hidden, it was sealed. It was sunk into a specially constructed subterranean chamber deep beneath the safety of the Kremlin walls, where it was bricked up, plastered, and disguised to appear as mere foundation or unused cellar space. The deep, low tone of the narration now dwells on the weight of this lost knowledge. The Liberia represents a missing link in the chain of Western and Eastern wisdom, a complete library of antiquity that simply vanished. Its rumored contents fueled the legend, transforming the missing books into a holy grail of historical research. The disappearance of the Liberia became a defining part of the Kremlin's mythological identity. It turned the massive silent walls into the ultimate container of history's greatest secret, a silent promise that deep beneath the red brick, a profound and world-altering truth lay sleeping.
The physical reality that made the Liberia's sealing possible was the extensive rebuilding of the Kremlin walls under Ivan the Great in the late 15th century. This effort was spearheaded by a team of brilliant Italian Renaissance architects whose ingenuity embedded the seeds of the later subterranean mysteries. Fearing the older medieval white stone walls were inadequate against modern artillery and unsuitable for the new status of Moscow as the Third Rome, Ivan the Great imported masters like Aristotele Fioravante, Pietro Antonio Solari, and Marco Ruffo. These Italian architects brought with them the advanced techniques of Renaissance military engineering, focusing on creating massive, geometrically sophisticated fortresses. They introduced the distinctive swallowtail crenellations, known in Italian as ghibelline, and most crucially, they designed walls with immense thickness and complex inner voids. The thickness of the walls, up to 6.5 meters in some sections, was not solid rock. The Italian design incorporated internal galleries and casements, long, narrow passages and chambers built directly into the core of the wall. These were necessary for moving soldiers, storing ammunition, and providing sheltered positions for cannons, but they also created the perfect structure for secret communication and hidden rooms. Imagine the process. The architects were essentially building a fortress within a fortress, Every tower was a self-contained defensive unit, and every stretch of wall was a roofed corridor, allowing movement that was entirely concealed from the outside world. The deep, steady tone of the narration now focuses on the calculated, deliberate nature of this construction. The Italian influence transformed the Kremlin into a Renaissance fortress layered over the ancient Russian site. The genius of the Italian architects lies in the fact that they designed a structure that was both functionally defensive and structurally secretive. They laid the physical groundwork, the deep, strong foundations, and the miles of hidden inner passages that would later be exploited by Tsar Ivan the Terrible to conceal his greatest treasure, the Liberia, deep within the subterranean labyrinths that they also had to understand and incorporate.
The most tangible part of the Kremlin's mystery lies within the red brick itself, the extensive network of secret passageways and internal staircases that run through the core of the massive walls. These are the wall's inner veins, designed for the concealed movements of power. These intra-wall tunnels are narrow, dark, and often suffocating, consisting of galleries running behind the battlements and connecting staircases that spiral down from the patrol paths into the heart of the brickwork. They were intentionally built to allow messengers, guards, and the Tsars themselves to move unseen and unheard between the 20 towers. Imagine the perspective from inside one of these passages. The only light filtering through the occasional narrow slit or loophole. The air still and heavy with the scent of old mortar and damp earth. These tunnels were the nervous system of the Kremlin, transmitting orders and fear in absolute secrecy. The architectural intent was twofold: military efficiency, allowing troops to reinforce a threatened sector without being exposed to enemy fire, and imperial paranoia, allowing the Tsar and his closest confidants to observe or escape without public knowledge. The lore suggests that certain sections of these inner veins were not merely passages, but contained small, hidden chambers, tiny bricked-up rooms used for temporary surveillance or perhaps as emergency caches for documents or gold. These spaces are often overlooked in official histories, but are crucial to the deep, secretive nature of the fortress. As in the passages, the deep, hushed tone of the narration reflects the necessity of silence. It is now reflected in this narration. The true history of the Kremlin was often made in these dark, unseen corridors. The silent movements of assassins, the quick exchange of secret documents, and the concealed exits of fleeing officials. The secret passageways are the physical manifestation of the Kremlin's enduring secrecy. They are a permanent reminder that the structure is not a single solid barrier, but a complex, layered labyrinth, holding centuries of hushed history within its immense red mass, setting the stage for the ultimate hidden chamber of the Liberia. The legend of the Libreria cannot be separated from the unique, terrifying psyche of the man who hid it, Tsar Ivan the Terrible. His paranoia and his complex obsession with both knowledge and secrecy
are the keys to understanding why the library was sealed so completely within the Kremlin's vast, dark depths. Ivan was a ruler defined by extreme duality. He was a brilliant patron of the arts, funding the first printing press in Russia. Yet he was prone to bouts of terrifying rage and cruelty. This contradictory genius led to an equally contradictory relationship with his library. His obsession with knowledge meant he valued the libraria above all physical treasures. The ancient Greek and Latin texts were priceless, not for their gold bindings, but for the forbidden power they contained. Lost histories, military tactics of antiquity, and perhaps even alchemical secrets that promised immortality or total power. His paranoia and desire for secrecy meant he could not trust this power to anyone. He feared that his nobles, the boyars, would steal the knowledge, or that the books would be destroyed by fire, a constant threat in wooden Moscow, or by foreign invasion. Ivan's solution was an act of extreme personal control. He would seal the library himself, ensuring that only he or his chosen successor could ever access it. The Kremlin's subterranean labyrinths became the perfect, absolute sanctuary for his secret. The deep, steady tone of the narration here reflects the Tsar's cold, calculated madness. Ivan the Terrible didn't just hide books, he entombed knowledge, making the library's sealing a final, personal act of monumental secrecy. The wall, in this sense, became Ivan's ultimate, final vault. The legendary resting place of the Libraria is not within the walls themselves, but deep within the subterranean labyrinths, an immense network of tunnels, cellars, and man-made grottos that exist beneath the Kremlin's massive foundations. This underground network has layers of history. The oldest sections predate the Italian construction, Section 3, consisting of medieval cellars, drainage systems, and natural cavities. When the Italian architects rebuilt the walls, they had to survey and integrate these pre-existing structures, inadvertently creating a multi-layered, confusing labyrinth of interconnected voids. These labyrinths served practical functions: water storage, crucial in a siege, secure storage for non-sensitive goods, and, most importantly, covert escape routes that could lead under the river or far outside the city walls, a function vital to the Tainitskaya Tower, Section 13. Imagine descending into these deep, claustrophobic tunnels. The stone is cold and damp, and the air is thick. The passages twist and turn, often doubling back or abruptly ending in solid rock, making them virtually impossible to navigate without detailed internal knowledge, the perfect defense for a secret like the Libraria. The lore suggests that the deepest, most secure chambers,
The ones potentially used to house the ancient books were intentionally reinforced and disguised by Ivan's engineers. They built false walls, sealed stairwells, and hidden compartments designed to deceive any superficial search. The deep, echoing tone of the narration now emphasizes the vastness and historical density of this unseen realm. The subterranean labyrinths are the dark, foundational secret of the Kremlin, acting as the ultimate impenetrable vault. The mystery of the Libraria is inextricably tied to this labyrinth. The library is not lost in a single room, but in a vast, dark network of passages, meaning that any search must contend not only with the defenses of the chamber itself, but with the bewildering complexity of the Kremlin's entire underground world.
To fully appreciate the mystery, we must attempt to conceptually visualize the Chamber of Revelation, the legendary hidden space designed by Ivan the Terrible to house the Libraria. This chamber, though fictionalized in history, is the focal point of centuries of searching. The lore suggests the chamber would not be large, but intensely secure. It would be constructed deep beneath the foundation, utilizing the immense thickness of the walls, Section I, or the secure, damp-free environment of the deepest cellars, Section 6. Imagine the design. Ceiling. The only entrance was likely sealed with multiple layers of brickwork, plaster, and perhaps an outer layer of stone, meticulously finished to blend seamlessly with the surrounding pre-existing foundation or cellar wall. Protection. The chamber would be specifically designed to protect the fragile ancient texts from the Kremlin's perennial enemy, dampness. It would require excellent ventilation, or perhaps use of specific materials like dry clay or charcoal to stabilize the air quality. Defense. Its immediate surroundings would be a deliberate dead end or a collapsing section of the labyrinth, designed to trap or confuse unauthorized searchers. The Chamber of Revelation derives its name from the potential of the knowledge within. It was a place designed to reveal the secrets of history once opened. It was sealed not because it was forgotten, but because its contents were considered too powerful for the world outside. The deep, steady tone of the narration now reflects the quiet dignity of the sealed chamber. It is a space of immense potential, waiting for the right key, a specific map, a lost architectural plan, or a royal decree to unlock its historical and spiritual power. The very concept of the Liberia's fictional home validates the decades of searching. It implies that the library is not destroyed, but merely waiting, a perfectly preserved archive sealed by a mad Tsar who believed his knowledge was worthy of eternal concealment. Among the 20 towers that punctuate the Kremlin wall, the Spasskaya Tower, Savior Tower, holds a unique position of profound symbolic and mythological importance. It is the guardian gate and, according to deep lore, it is intrinsically connected to the ultimate subterranean secrets. Historically, the Spasskaya Gate was the most sacred entrance to the Kremlin. Tsars, military leaders, and religious processions passed through it. To pass through, men were required to dismount their horses and remove their hats in reverence to the icon of Christ the Savior that once hung above the entrance. This ritual reinforced the tower's status as a spiritual threshold. The icon and the famous clock, installed later, gave the tower a unique function. It was the public face of time and eternal Russian order. It was the place where the Tsar's earthly power met the divine sanction of the heavens. The lore surrounding the tower's foundation is profound. Because of its extreme importance, its foundations are rumored to run deeper than any other tower, plunging into the multi-layered subterranean labyrinths, Section 6. This depth is necessary to support its immense height and, spiritually, to guard the very center of the Russian state. The deep, solemn tone of the narration now echoes the slow, majestic chimes of the Spasskaya clock, counting down the centuries over the secrets buried beneath its foundations. The Guardian Gate is a vital part of the Liberia mythology. If the library were sealed beneath a tower, Spasskaya would be the logical choice, the most secure, most sacred, and most symbolically potent location. It is the Tsar's ultimate vault, a silent promise that the most powerful secrets of the state are protected by the highest spiritual and temporal authority. The tower's role as the Guardian Gate ensures that even the possibility of discovering the Liberia remains dependent on passing through a barrier that is not only physical, but profoundly spiritual and historical. A crucial element of the Kremlin's deep mystery and the integrity of its subterranean labyrinths is the presence of the Neglinyaya River. This river, now channeled and hidden entirely beneath the surface, played a vital role in the wall's history, defense, and secret infrastructure. Originally, the Neglinyaya flowed openly along the western side of the Kremlin walls, acting as a natural moat. When the Italians rebuilt the fortress, Section 3, they incorporated this natural defense. However, as Moscow grew and water quality declined, the river was eventually channeled entirely underground into a series of massive brick-lined conduits and tunnels in the 19th century. The lore surrounding the Neglinyaya is immense. Before it was fully channeled, its marshy banks were a source of mystery and danger. The early defensive tunnels and escape routes were often designed to run alongside or under the riverbed, providing a final concealed exit from the fortress in times of siege. Imagine the sound of the deep, hidden waterway, a perpetual muffled roar echoing through the dark, damp subterranean tunnels. This subterranean waterway adds a layer of extreme complexity and danger to any modern search for the Liberia. The deep, flowing tone of the narration now mirrors the silent, relentless current of the hidden river. The Neglinyaya is a secret in itself, a hidden, perpetual force running beneath the historical heart of the nation. The presence of the river is vital to the Liberia's mystery because it provides the ultimate method of concealment. If the library chamber were connected to a drainage system or a forgotten river passage, it would be virtually impossible to find, as the tunnels would be perpetually flooded or too unstable to explore. The Neglinyaya is the Kremlin's final, dark, fluid guardian.
The enduring power of the Libraria legend stems from the rumored contents of the lost archives, texts that were not merely historical documents, but potentially revolutionary documents that could have fundamentally altered Western civilization. The core of the archive is believed to be the collection of the Byzantine emperors, Section 2, meaning the texts spanned classical antiquity through the height of the Byzantine Empire. The contents are rumored to include lost classics, complete original works of Greek and Roman historians, philosophers, and playwrights that have only survived in fragments or not at all in Western Europe. Forbidden alchemy and science, treatises on ancient metallurgy, medicine, and esoteric sciences, including texts on alchemy that may have fueled Ivan the Terrible's personal obsession with immortality. Byzantine military and diplomatic secrets, detailed historical records of Byzantine diplomacy, military tactics, and court intrigue that could shed new light on the decline and fall of the Eastern Roman Empire. Imagine the sheer intellectual power sealed within that subterranean chamber. An entire alternative history of the world, preserved from the fires and purges of the Western European Dark Ages and the Ottoman conquest. The deep, scholarly tone of the narration now reflects the immense weight of this potential knowledge. The lost archives are the key to the legend's power. They represent the ultimate prize for historians, theologians, and researchers, the recovery of a complete historical narrative that was thought to be destroyed forever. The fact that the knowledge was sealed by Ivan the Terrible only intensifies the lore. The Tsar not only took the secret of the library's location to his grave, but he also took the secret of a lost civilization's wisdom. The Kremlin walls in this context are not just a fortress, but the ultimate vault of world history. A specialized and subtle part of the Kremlin's secret architecture is the existence of the alarm tunnels, or acoustic surveillance chambers. Narrow, dedicated passages and voids built within the massive brickwork designed specifically for listening. The immense thickness of the walls, Section 1, could easily muffle sound, providing both security and a problem for the paranoid Tsar. To ensure internal surveillance and listen for threats, either from outside the walls or more likely from within the Kremlin grounds, architects devised ingenious acoustic tunnels. These passages were not designed for movement, but for sound transmission. They consisted of narrow, smooth, often curved voids or shafts that could direct whispers, the sound of digging or the scraping of tools, to a specific listening post, often a small, darkened chamber manned by a trusted oprichnik or guard.
Imagine the absolute necessity of silence within these chambers. The listener would place their ear against a small covered aperture, straining to catch any sound of conspiracy or unauthorized excavation deep beneath the walls. The deep, hushed tone of the narration now reflects the intensity of this required silence. The alarm tunnels are a physical manifestation of Ivan the Terrible's paranoia. They confirm that the Kremlin was a fortress where secrecy and surveillance were woven into the very fabric of its construction. The existence of these acoustic surveillance systems also provides a potential clue to the libraria's location. If the library chamber was being sealed or protected, it is highly likely that Ivan's engineers would build a corresponding surveillance post nearby, ensuring that the secret vault was not breached from the inside. The search for the library is also a search for the listening post that guarded it.
The legend of the Liberia was cemented in history by the actions of Tsar Boris Godunov, reign 1598 to 1605, who launched the first documented, organized, and intense search for the lost library shortly after Ivan the Terrible's dynasty ended. Godunov, a pragmatic and ambitious ruler, understood the immense spiritual and intellectual power that the Liberia represented. Section 2. He believed that possessing the ancient knowledge would legitimize his reign, which began amid political turmoil, and give him an undeniable intellectual supremacy over the nobles and foreign powers. The lore suggests that Godunov's search was systematic and desperate. He employed engineers, masons, and perhaps even some of the few remaining individuals who might have had peripheral knowledge of Ivan's secret constructions. The searches focused heavily on the Kremlin's cellars, the subterranean tunnels, and the foundations of the most important towers, like Spasskaya and Tainitskaya. Imagine the scene, the controlled chaos of the search, digging teams working in the cold, damp dark beneath the Kremlin, meticulously examining every brick and feeling for air voids or false plastering, all under the intense scrutiny of the Tsar's guards. The deep, frustrated tone of the narration here reflects the Tsar's eventual failure. Despite his immense power and resources, Godunov's search yielded nothing but confusing tunnels and dead ends. His failure validated the absolute secrecy of Ivan the Terrible's sealing ritual. Section 17. The historical fact of Boris Godunov's search is crucial. It confirms that the legend of the Liberia was not a mere folk tale, but a state secret pursued by the highest powers. Godunov's failure to find the library transformed the wall from a military barrier into an impenetrable historical vault, a structure that kept the secrets of its former masters better than any human guard. Within the complex defensive system of the Kremlin walls, the Tainitskaya Tower, secret tower, stands as the physical embodiment of the wall's secrecy and its connection to the underground world. The tower was the very first of the Italian-designed towers to be built in the late 15th century, and its name, Tainitskaya, from the Russian Tainik, meaning secret place, is no accident.
The tower was constructed over a hidden well and a deep, concealed passage leading directly to the Moscow River or its proximity. Imagine the design. The well provided a crucial internal water supply, a lifeline during a siege, and the passage served as a covert sally port for surprise attacks, supply replenishment, or, most critically, a final escape route for the Tsar and his family. The gate at the base of the tower could be secretly opened and closed, allowing for movement unseen by the enemy. The lore of the Tainitskaya Tower makes it a prime candidate in the search for the Liberia, a chamber requiring the highest level of security and secrecy, Section 5, would logically be connected to a tower that already specialized in secrecy and concealed access to the outside world. The deep, conspiratorial tone of the narration now reflects the tower's function. The secret passage is the architectural proof that the Kremlin was designed to have a life and a movement entirely concealed from the outside world. The Tainitskaya Tower validates the existence of the subterranean labyrinths, Section 6, as more than just cellars. They were a network of strategic, hidden infrastructure. This tower, more than any other, whispers the possibility that the secrets buried beneath the Kremlin are not merely hidden, but are connected to a system designed for a fast, silent, and final exit.
The search for the Liberia was not confined to the Tsarist era. It was revived with intense, state-mandated secrecy during the Soviet period, particularly in the 1930s, fueled by both historical curiosity and the Soviet desire to harness any lost knowledge for their own purposes. The Soviet authorities, though dismissing the Tsarist past, were fascinated by the legend. It was believed that the ancient texts could contain valuable, lost military and scientific information that could aid the burgeoning industrial state. Furthermore, finding the library would be a major propaganda coup, a demonstration of the new regime successfully recovering the lost wealth of the people. The lore suggests that the 1930s excavations were the most intrusive and systematic search ever conducted. Teams of engineers and archaeologists, often under the direct supervision of the NKVD for absolute secrecy, used modern drilling and boring techniques to probe the Kremlin's foundations, particularly near the Arsenal Tower and the Tainitskaya Tower, Section 13. Imagine the scene, the controlled, dark intrusion of the Soviet state into the ancient, hidden labyrinths. The digging was intense, often carried out at night, and the results were always highly classified. The deep, conspiratorial tone of the narration now reflects the intense, ruthless secrecy of the Soviet era. While these searches did uncover parts of the subterranean labyrinths, Section 6, and historical cellars, they did not find the Liberia. The official silence that followed the Soviet search is the final powerful confirmation of the complexity of the mystery. The fact that an authoritarian state with virtually unlimited resources and a complete disregard for historical preservation failed to find the chamber only reinforces the effectiveness of Ivan the Terrible's sealing ritual, Section 17. The wall proved to be a superior guardian to the state that occupied it. The ultimate layer of the Liberia's mystery is the lore concerning the sealing ritual. the final, absolute process by which the library was interred and its location erased from memory. This process involved not only brick and mortar, but also solemn oaths and the permanent silencing of the witnesses. The lore suggests that Ivan the Terrible, in his final paranoid years, Section 5, oversaw the chamber's sealing with absolute secrecy. The construction was likely carried out by a very small, trusted crew of masons, possibly foreign, who had no knowledge of the final steps until the very end. Imagine the final act. The ancient texts are placed on the shelves, the chamber is dehumidified, and the last surviving architects are commanded to build the false wall, meticulously disguising the entrance. The architect's silence was the key defense. The lore implies that the Tsar ensured that the few people who knew the exact location of the entrance, the architects, the chief engineers, were either sworn to a binding, terrible oath of secrecy or were permanently silenced immediately after the final brick was laid. The deep, cold tone of the narration here reflects the Tsar's final, ruthless command. The sealing ritual transformed the knowledge of the library's location from a physical fact into a spiritual burden carried only by the dead. The effectiveness of this ritual is proven by the failure of Boris Godunov, Section 12, and the Soviet authorities, Section 16. The secret of the Liberia was not merely hidden by architecture, it was erased by the Tsar's ultimate murderous secrecy. The final secret of the Kremlin walls lies not in the stone, but in the silence of the men who placed the last brick. We conclude our exploration of the Kremlin walls, Ivan the Terrible's lost library, and the subterranean labyrinths. We have felt the immense silence of the red brick, traced the dark paths of the inner veins, and searched in the vast, confusing depths of the subterranean labyrinths. The wall stands today as the ultimate container of Russian history, a massive, silent, enduring sentinel that protects the heart of the nation. Its mystery is defined by the three core elements we have examined: the library, the possibility of the Liberiana, the lost knowledge that defies history, fueled by the paranoia and genius of Ivan the Terrible. The labyrinths, the subterranean tunnels, and the complexity of the internal voids that make the secret virtually impenetrable. The ceiling, the architect's silence, and the permanent erasure of the secret from the human memory. The wall remains on eternal watch. It continues to guard its secrets with the efficiency of its Italian engineering and the ruthlessness of its former masters. The mystery is less about the discovery of the books and more about the enduring power of a secret so profound, so well sealed, that it resists the continuous efforts of centuries of emperors, tyrants, and searchers. The Kremlin walls do not yield easily. They stand as a testament to the belief that some secrets are too important, too powerful to ever be shared with the world. They will remain the ultimate silent repository of Moscow's deepest, darkest, and most profound historical enigma.